Hello students. In our last class we have studied about simple machines, that what is a simple machine, and along with that we have studied the arrangement of wheel and axle in detail. Now today we are going to study some more simple machines and we will study wedge and screw in detail. So let us start. Wedge. What is a wedge? Wedge is also a simple machine. A wedge is a portable inclined plane. It tapers to a thin edge and it is a triangular shaped tool. You can see that a wedge is a portable inclined plane. You can see this inclined plane in this picture, and it tapers to a thin edge and it is a triangular shaped tool. Pushing a wedge in one direction creates a force in a sideways direction. How does it happen? When we apply a force from one direction, this is the input force, this is a wedge, this is a triangular tool, and we are putting a force from this direction. That force is the output force is changing its direction in these two directions, and this object will get split apart. In this way wedge works. So pushing a wedge in one direction creates a force in a sideways direction. Thus it is a useful tool for separating parts of an object. You must have seen farmers cutting wood. The same arrangement is used. They are using a tool called axe, called axe, and the wedge is getting used in axe because the wood is getting apart and the force is applied from one direction and the wood is getting really apart. It may also be used to lift an object or hold an object in place. A wedge is formed when two inclined planes are put together such that one end is sharp and the other end is blunt. Wedge बनता है उस वक्त जब दो inclined planes को इस तरह से रखा जाए that the one end is sharp and the other end is blunt. You can see we have kept two inclined planes, this one and this two inclined planes in such a way that one end is sharp and the other end is blunt. Okay. Now what are the other uses of wedge? A wedge helps to cut things or push objects apart. The blades of a knife and axe are wedges. Now the knife which we are using in our daily life, in our kitchen, that is nothing but an example of wedge. Students, I have told you in my earlier class that simple machines make our work easier and quicker. Can you just imagine if you want to cut a piece of vegetable without using knife, can you do that? How difficult it would be. A simple knife is a simple machine which is applying which is nothing but a wedge, and its sharp edge is cutting the vegetables so easily. A wedge can also be round like the tip of nail or the ends of your fork. This is a tip of the nail, and the fork which you are using is also an example of wedge. The narrower the wedge or the sharper the point of a wedge, the easier it is to drive it in and push things apart. To split things apart really wide, you have to push the wedge a long distance. अगर आपको ज़्यादा लंबे distance तक किसी चीज़ को push apart करना है तो you have to carry the wedge arrangement for a long distance. And the other common examples of wedge are shovel, our teeth, the teeth in our mouth, and some screwdrivers, saw, needle, scissors. These all are examples of wedge. Wedge that hold things together like push pins and tacks, these are also wedge. Now coming to screw. Screw is also a simple machine. Screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a rod like structure. Now you can see that this is a ramp like ramp like structure, inclined ramp, and it has been wrapped around a rod like structure. This is a rod, this nail, and उसके चारों तरफ एक लपेटा हुआ inclined ramp है. This arrangement is called screw. The inclined plane is the thread that wraps around the screw. The screw has grooved surface with pointed end. A pointed end is there. The screw is like a ramp and the width of the thread is like the angle of an inclined plane. एक जो inclined जो ramp है वो एक plane पर एक angle पर inclined है, तिरछा है, झुका हुआ है. The wider the thread of a screw, the harder it is to turn it. जितना ज़्यादा ये wide होगा, ये वाला distance, तो उतना ही hard it would be to turn it. What are the uses of screw? Screws are used in many different places to hold things together. If you have to place a paper, if you want to paste a paper over a wall with the help of nail, if you are applying nail, taking help of nail, that is nothing but you are making use of screw, because you are placing two things together. A bolt is a screw, but it doesn't have a sharp tip. This is a bolt. This is also a kind of screw, but it is not having any sharp tip. Instead, a hole is made with another type of screw called drill bit. But hole बनाने के लिए यहाँ पर एक और screw की मदद लेते हैं, which is called drill bit, and the bolt is then pushed through the drilled hole. Next, a nut is placed at the end to screw the bolt through. This drill bit is also a screw. This is also a kind of screw, and it can make holes in nearly every surface. अगर हम इसे इलेक्ट्रिक ड्रिल के साथ अटैच करें तो it can make holes in nearly every surface, including stones also, including wood, plastic, metal, stone, etc. And what are the common uses of screw at our home? What we can see: the grooves on the jar or bottle lids, the end of light bulbs, water faucets, bottle caps. These are nothing but the example of screw. So students, this is it for today. Thank you.